Welcome to Batchademia,
a podcast so educational it could be a university class.
With your hosts,
Danielle Dick McHugh,
Kim Hannah,
and Bill Henninger. What's up, playas? We've been released from the never-ending season of The Bachelor, and so we are going to put a bow on this crap salad, and then we are going to get ready for Bachelor in Paradise. How are you, Kim?
I'm doing great, Bill. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm here. I'm not at work, which is good. So
yeah.
And I'm drinking a Diet Squirt Zero. So if you're looking for sponsors, Squirt Zero, I probably drink more than anybody on this planet.
I'm a fan of Fresca, and I don't know if that's a Coke product. I don't know what Squirt falls under.
Dr. Pepper 7-Up Inc.
Oh. Well, we'll take sponsorships from either.
Yeah.
Monopoly of deliciousness.
Pepsi. I love Diet Mountain Dew.
I do love Diet Pepsi.
Yeah. So
any soda companies.
Yeah.
I would make an amazing commercial for you. I'm just
Diet. Would we take Diet Right on?
We could. I wouldn't be able to speak from the heart because I don't think I've ever had Diet Right, where I could go on a soliloquy for hours on the magic that is Diet Pepsi.
Yeah.
And the magic that is McDonald's Fountain Diet Coke after a really fun night.
I agree. All right. Speaking of fun nights, in light of Tino being caught with his shirt unbuttoned and on his phone and looking really embarrassed, what's the most embarrassing moment anyone has ever walked in on you?
Okay, so first of all, we just glossed over that, what just happened, and I hope we talk about it in the recap or somewhere else because I have thoughts.
Yeah.
But my most embarrassing thing wasn't when someone walked in on me doing anything, but was in fact, I am a bit of a musical theater person.
Theater.
When I was in high school, we did The Sound of Music, and I was Liesel, and it was during a rehearsal, like a dress rehearsal, not during an actual show. But I walked the heck on stage with one of my dresses tucked up into the back of my tights that God and everyone in high school could see my underoos and my butt. And someone walked up right behind me and quickly pulled it out and pulled it down. But I absolutely was on stage with my butt out.
Wow.
In high school.
So I kind of pride myself on not finding myself in very awkward situations. So I couldn't really think of a great one.
That was your question.
I know, right? I asked it, and then later I was like, oh, it's not really a great question. I do have a story though about somebody at a conference. This was not me. But we're getting ready. We're at a conference, someone's presenting, and they're putting up the stuff, and they're doing their little lecture, and then they get ready to show a video. And so they pull up the video, and this was back before YouTube. Now we just pull them up all on YouTube when we teach. This was back when you had it loaded on your computer, and they pulled up their Windows media player, and it said 2 girls and 1 guy's gang banging all night. And it was the picture, and then they were like, oh God. Yeah. So
well, I guess we know what their fetish is.
Yeah, and I was like, because this is how I am, and I feel like this is how you are, kind of like with Tino, I was like, why was that up there? If you're presenting and it's 1:00 in the afternoon now, I just want to know a little bit more. I want to unpack this. Were you did you go back to your hotel room? Which, hey, fine with me.
That's how he does lunch.
Yeah, it was a she.
Even better.
Yes. Yeah, that was what made it really. And so I was like, was this her significant other's computer, and she grabbed it? And yeah, I don't know.
It's good, clean fun. Everyone, it's fine. I just love that.
Unprofessional.
It's a little unprofessional. Yeah. I love that. I had a Zoom committee meeting this morning, and I was
Mhm.
going to try to share my screen, and the technology, I mean, I had a morning. Technology was not on my side. And I don't even look at like, I mean, obviously I'm not looking at that stuff at work, but I'm not looking at anything even remotely questionable at work. And I still like closed out everything just in case when you do the share screen with Zoom, my Gmail email was showing or something. And there's nothing, all that's on my Gmail right now is houses that my realtor is sending me. That's literally my life right now.
Yeah.
But even
That's basically porn for like a 40-something-year-old looking.
Not for me. It's not.
No,
I hate it.
Really?
I am not enjoying house hunting. I'm finding it extraordinarily stressful and vomit inducing. But yeah, like why would you, I mean, if that's what you do over your lunch hour, go for it, get yours, girl. But like close your tabs.
Yeah. Yep. You got to close the tabs. If you're using the internet, you got to go into incognito mode. That's
and maybe if that's her personal laptop, I guess whatever. But if that's your like work issued,
that's
laptop,
what I thought too. Yeah.
Why are you looking at that on there?
Yeah. And this was back in the day again, where you didn't stream stuff, so it was a downloaded video, and so
was it like, a home video?
I don't think so. We didn't get to see, but it was a really boring presentation up to that point. And so there was a part of me that wanted to be like, excuse me.
Can we watch that, please? Because your presentation is lame.
Run it back. Yeah. So.
Was it a relationships conference? Because it would fit.
No, this was an early childhood special ed conference. Yeah. Which made it even more. Yeah. It wasn't like my area that I like a family where you have like a sexuality sub group and you could be like, well, that doesn't really count, but I guess they could. Yeah.
No bueno.
But we all like everybody just acted like they didn't see it. And we all were just like, oh, you're going to talk about intermittent rewards with children who have social emotional disabilities. This is great. Let's get on to that.
How purple was her face?
Yeah, she was pretty, and then like sped through the presentation, and I'm sure went back to her room and had a good cry.
I am uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable when I can tell people are uncomfortable, and I get embarrassed for people when I can tell they're embarrassed. And I don't know this person. I obviously wasn't there, and it was years ago before I even knew you, and I'm still uncomfortable on that woman's behalf. Like I'm embarrassed on her behalf. That sucks.
Yeah, the group was merciful when she was like, any questions, and people are just like, nope, time to go.
Oh, bless her buttons. Bless her heart. All right.
Yeah, that's a nightmare right there. Yeah. 2-minute recap. Yeah.
Please give me a 3-hour episode recap in as short amount of time as humanly possible.
Well, luckily, the last 2 episodes have had pretty much nothing going on. And so I'm just going to hit the highlights here. We start out with Nicole, Rachel, and Tino, and they basically fall in love, and they like get married, right? And then they're like, bum, bum, bum.
Oops, doopsie.
Something gonna happen. And then Nicole, Rachel basically kind of like alludes that Tino cheated on her. Now, Danielle, co-host Danielle, feels like Tino got done dirty with this whole thing, because she's saying that they didn't really say, she had read that they're, what Nicole Rachel saying blah 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 is not exactly what's going on. They never told us what's going on, so I don't totally know what happened. What I do know is that there was a weird confrontation between the two of them
at an Airbnb.
Yep, that spanned quite a long amount of time, where they kept talking about how at some point they got in an argument. Tino was under the impression that the engagement was off, and Rachel was under the impression that it was not off, and they were having a fight. So think of Friends, Ross and Rachel. We were on a break. And so periodically, Tino needs to get up and like walk it off a little bit. So he does it once, and then he comes back inside. The whole time he's carrying around this little notebook that apparently is his journal.
His dream journal that he only opened to page 2. So he doesn't really journal, I don't think. I don't journal, so I don't judge him on that.
Who was the Supreme Court nominee? This was like a Kavanaugh move. right? Where he's like, remember he pulled out his journal and was like, on this day.
He pulled out his college calendar and was like, I didn't write that I was drinking that night. So obviously I didn't sexually assault that woman. I'm like, that's not how it works.
So I'm calling this a Kavanaugh, where you retroactively like create a journal or something to say that you didn't do something, right? So then they go back, they're arguing. It seems like a very circular argument. And Tino says, I got to go again. He gets up and walks out. Rachel follows him and she finds him, and Tino is on his phone. He has his shirt unbuttoned and he turns around.
All the way unbuttoned, not even just like a couple.
Yeah, he turns around and looks at her and looks like the most caught man in the history of caught, and is like, I had to make a phone call. And she's like, just come back inside so we can keep talking. And we never addressed this again. He
was absolutely on the phone with the other woman or his mom.
I have no idea. There's so many questions. So then basically they end up like, this is over, whatever, Rachel gives him the ring back. Then they sit him down and they're talking, and they can't come to a, like Tino kind of talks around in circles. I don't think he does a very good job of explaining yet what has happened. And Rachel doesn't seem to do a really good job of like communicating in. And so they come to this like, hey, we're done. And then Aven walks out and is like, Rachel, do you want to go get some dinner or something? And she's like, yeah. And then they leave. And as they're like ending, you can see Tino turn to Jesse Palmer. I'm like, am I done? Can I go? And so Danielle pointed out that this was very much a like, we're here contract obligations. Like, let's just get this over with.
The whole thing was very much producer puppet mastered.
Oh yeah.
I know that I think we're going to talk about it a little later, so I don't want to talk too much about it, but I just like, honestly, the first 45 minutes of Tuesday night show was the most entertaining part of the entire season.
Yeah.
Because something finally happened.
Dynamics wise, it was everything that the season could have been had they not diddle left around.
And you knew shiz was gonna go down, because when they would show pictures of Rachel in the square and they would show pictures of Rachel's mom in the square, they both had this face during the first part of the engagement.
If you're not watching,
this is the listening, podcast. I'm not moving my face, and I'm trying not to make any facial expressions whatsoever.
Yeah. So that's over. Then we go to Gabby and what's his name?
Eric.
No, Zach's the new dude. Eric is this guy, Erich with an H, I think.
He's German.
Yeah, basically they kind of agree that there won't be an engagement, right? I think that's what I remember, but that they're going to be together. They end up together. They try to pretend like they had a hard time when they come on the After the Rose, and I'm not convinced. I think
he gave her a ring, didn't he?
Maybe.
He was holding two, like we didn't get our Neil Lane, but he was holding two rings.
Yeah.
And then I think he got down on one knee, and I don't think he got down on one knee and said, I want to be your friend and maybe more. I think he said, let's do this.
I'll allow it. All right. So they got engaged, which was.
I had a margarita that night, so I'm not sure I'm remembering everything perfectly.
It's what they wanted. Let's pretend they got what they wanted. And then they said how they've had some rough patches, but they're still together. Love conquers all. Boom. Gabby gets to be on Dancing with the Stars.
And we got Grandpa John.
Yep. And he was pretty fun too. Then they bring on Zach and they announce him as the Bachelor. I don't think anyone in America was really excited about it. They brought on, was it 6 contestants? It was 5 or 6 contestants. 5. They introduced themselves and America voted, and they picked the one, from what I could tell,
non-blonde.
Yep, the one non-blonde person of a diverse background. Go America! And then it was over. What did I miss? Wasn't there something in the middle there? No. I think they pimped Bachelor in Paradise.
Oh yeah. Well, and there's been some hullabaloo on the Instagram because it shows Rachel at Bachelor in Paradise in one of the promos, and the timing of the filming of Bachelor in Paradise would be before the breakup. But then the other conversations are that she was just there for like a, hey guys, I'm here to like give a date card or something, and she's not actually a contestant.
Moral support. Interesting.
I think. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I think that if Aaron is still single at the end of Bachelor in Paradise, that Aaron and Rachel could make a delightful couple.
Interesting. That's a bold statement.
You heard it here first, folks.
Majority whip Aaron. I just can't wait to see Aaron organize and try to orchestrate like he did last time.
Oh, man. But James isn't going to be there. We haven't seen James.
Yeah, I bet James will make it.
His best friend.
Mm-hmm. The bromance.
The bromance.
All right. So concept one. Tino says he thought their engagement was over. Nicole says that was never the case. What are your thoughts? What is the threshold for engagement over? And then if you are on like a break, what are the rules of disengagement, disentanglement?
Okay. So my first question is what? You gave me two questions. The first one is, how do you know when you're not engaged anymore?
Yeah, well, just general, what are your thoughts? What are the rules of like when are you actually not engaged anymore? Because that seems to be one of the rubs here, right? Is that
so? My answer to that is, I'm going to pretend that we're engaged. Bill, are you ready for this?
Yes.
Bill, I don't want to be engaged anymore. Here is my ring. I'm moving out. We're through.
That seems like clear communication right there, right? I know we're no longer engaged. Yeah.
I was concise. I said your name. I made eye contact. I didn't throw the ring at you because I'm an adult who turned 41 this week. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I gave you the ring and I said, bye-bye.
All right. I buy that. So then what if you're on a break in engagement? Is there like no fooling around?
No.
No? Okay.
I don't think if you are on a break, you are taking time to cool off and reevaluate. And
I'm playing Tino's advocate here.
You can. I'm playing Kim's advocate. If you're on a break and you say, I need to like reevaluate some things, you can reevaluate a relationship without putting your tongue down someone else's throat.
Okay. So did they do Tino dirty with the whole Aven thing?
Oh, yeah, but it was really good TV.
Yeah. I feel like Aven can do much better.
I think so too. We've talked the entire season how Rachel Nicole Barb is not, I don't think she's mature enough for a relationship.
No.
She clearly can't handle having arguments when she had that conversation with Aven before.
Yes.
Like, if you can't have an argument and come out the other side, you're not ready to be in a relationship.
Absolutely. And I think Aven is probably too acquiescing as well, like how he kept apologizing, and it's like, come on, man, like, I mean, you don't got to be a jerk about it, but like,
he didn't do anything wrong.
No, but he apologized like he did. So
I know. Yeah. I also think we need to circle back for a hot second.
Yeah.
Why was Tino's shirt completely unbuttoned on that phone call? I know California's been dealing with some really wicked heat, but it's a black t-shirt. It's a black button down. Unbuttoning it isn't going to cool you off because you're still wearing a black button down t-shirt. Was he like sexting with someone in the backyard and then I don't understand.
I thought that he was taking the microphone off. That was what when I saw, I was like, I bet he was trying to get his microphone off.
That makes sense.
Also trying to call. And I wondered if he was trying to call someone to come pick him up.
Maybe he was calling an Uber.
Yeah. And he was like, I had to call somebody. I think he thought he was done. And he was like, I'm out of here. And then when she came out, I don't think he has the stones enough to like, I'm leaving, I'm done. He seemed to really like, because remember at one point he was like crying and like, why won't she break up with me? Just let me go. And it's like, well,
why don't you break up with her?
Right,
You are an adult in this relationship too.
exactly.
Tino. I haven't liked Tino from the very beginning.
No.
So
I would like to refute that statement. When he first came out, you said he was really good looking.
That doesn't mean I like him. As soon as he opened his mouth, I was like, pass.
I don't like him. We've gone
I just like to look at him.
We've gone to junior high.
I will say, the unbuttoned look, not a bad look. But I think his personality is pretty awful.
Yeah, he's like a 9 body wise and like a half of 1 personality wise.
If that.
Yeah.
But he and his dad talk about sports, so he's a really well-rounded adult human being.
And to put the cherry on top with him, my favorite thing was when he was like, you went to therapy like I asked you and did all that stuff. And then later he's like, I wish I would have like taken therapy and whatever more serious. It's like, that's the man you want right there. The one that's like, you're going to therapy and he's like, yeah, go talk with your whatever. So,
yeah.
All right. Concept 2. They hoodwinked us with the whole Gabby and her dude. We thought it was going south, but they ended up together. Thoughts on their story arc? They're going to be together for a long time?
I mean, no, it's the Bachelorette. I talked about this last week. I didn't know that Zach was Eric and Eric was Zach until last week.
This is how I live my whole life with people, by the way.
Like halfway through the episode, I was like, oh, I have them switched. I don't hate Eric. I don't like his hairstyle, but I don't hate his hairstyle either because he has luscious curls, and I say, live, laugh, love with your curls. I just think I'm not sure Gabby is ready for a relationship either. So I'm not sure it's going to be successful in that way. And also no Bachelorette relationship has been successful since like 2003. Right. So I don't think that's the purpose of the show anymore. And if it was, they would be doing it differently than they're doing it. I like them together. I think they could be really fun friends. Like, and I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that they're really happy together because Eric seems I mean he made some questionable choices in high school. He seemed to own that. He made some questionable choices with past relationships. I think we all have those gremlins. Oh, yeah. I also wonder about these girls and guys that come out and like and show the texts, and you wonder like, how much of a relationship were you actually in? Yeah. The one for Eric, it seems like they'd only been seeing each other for like a month before he went on the show, and that's not a relationship. That's dating. Yeah. Unless again, it feels like clout, communication, and unless he said, hey, I love you. I'm just going on this show to get exposure. And when I come back, we're getting married. That's one thing. But I do not get the impression that that is what he said. So I say, good luck. God bless. I hope you work out. I don't think you'll work out. I think Gabby will do really well on Dancing with the Stars. And maybe she'll date like Derek Huff or something. But yeah, I don't know.
I think they're going to do well. I think the two of them are well matched in a lot of ways. Like, I think they have kind of similar, like they seem to complement each other pretty well. I think he seems like he is caring enough that he's going to do well with her. You know, I think she's a caring person. Yeah. He seems to really appreciate her goofy side, which, you know, she said she can be tough to swallow or whatever. And he seems like he's in for that. Yeah, I think Derek Huff is one of the most annoying people in the world. He drives me nuts.
I don't disagree with that statement.
Yeah, so
I would say I hope she hooks up with Len Goodman, but I feel like we'd get hate mail for that.
Len's the old one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Len.
Yeah, he's like the crotchety one that is like always giving the bad feedback, and then when the crowd boos him, he's like, "What?
You asked me for my opinion."
I'm honest. Yeah.
I like Len. I enjoy Glenn.
I'm more of a Mark Ballas guy myself, but I don't think he's on the show anymore.
Oh my God, that's a deep cut. I don't think he's been on for a while, but I also enjoyed Mark Ballas. He made good choreography. Maybe we should do a Dancing with the Stars podcast.
I would have nothing to add. I don't know anything about dancing.
Oh, that would be entertaining though. Okay, sorry, we digress again.
No,
so
that's fine.
I say I hope they make it. I'm doubtful because of the Bachelorette franchise. And you say you're all in and you think they'll make it.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm all in. I'm like casually in.
Okay.
I'm also on my second squirt 0, so.
Whoa! Watch out, America.
I think that they will, if they stay committed to the relationship, I think they will go far. I'm as confident in them as I was as confident that Rachel and Tino were not going to make it to the after the rose ceremony.
Well, then you are 100% accurate. You're dipping your toes in happiness.
Yep. All right, concept 3. What do we think about Zach as the Bachelor? No, I'm not having it either. I don't get it, right? It's like they have, like, after they had what was the dude during COVID? Matt James, who I think was pretty complex and interesting, even though he wasn't a former contestant, but I thought he was, like, you know, he had depth to him. He was willing to kind of be vulnerable about stuff. I don't think he was always, like, the best when it came to interacting with the women, and, like,
but that's boys in general are usually not great at interacting with women.
That's true. But I thought he was at least complex. And the last, like, Clayton was, like, as white as, well, he was as vanilla as he was white, right? Like, and then Zach just seems like, I don't get it.
I think that there were so many other great potential opportunities if you were going to pull out of this cast. I've been not sold in my love of Ethan, and so I'm a little bummed out that they'd, like, I know they're catering to a certain demographic and that it is what it is, but, like, the show has had he's just, like, I'm just spurting words now. I can't even get a sentence out because I'm so annoyed with it. But, like, he seemed to be ahead of the game the entire show. And, like, he clearly knew he was gonna get the boot with when he was in the final 3. So he took control of the situation, removed himself so that he wouldn't be removed.
Yep.
And that bothers me.
And it didn't seem to play totally well. So then he came back and made that, like, weird apology. Yeah.
Yeah, that was dumb too. That was a waste of everyone's time.
Right.
Next week.
I agree with you. There was a really, like, unlike other seasons, there was 3 or 4 guys that I was like, they would be a pretty good Bachelor. Aven would have been great.
I would watch the heck out of Nate's season.
Yep.
The
Nate,
heck out of it.
Ethan. You know, they're even the guy whose family owned the Jersey.
I was gonna say I can't remember his name, but he would have been fun too.
Yeah. It's like Zach is like an accountant that wants to tell you about his fantasy football team and, like, is never going to talk to you about anything interesting, but, like, give you that smile and be like, yeah, you know,
he's the one that's going to corner you at a party.
Yes.
Like a Halloween party where everyone's in costumes, and he came in like an Anchorman costume because he has no creativity. So he's just like, I'm going to go as the Anchorman and try to make that my personality. And then he corners you and talks to you for, like, in half an hour while you're making eye contact with your friends across the room. Like, if you don't save me right now, I'm killing you. That's who Zach is.
Yeah. Yep. I think he's also the guy that, like, thinks he's really charming and, like, very agreeable, but there's just something about it that I'm just like, I'm not buying it, buddy.
No.
Yeah.
He's too tall. I don't like that either.
The interesting thing about him is there needs to be a word for this. It's like when a person is tall, but they don't look tall, right? Like Jay Leno apparently is really tall, but he just doesn't look tall. Like when you see him, you're not like, oh, that guy's got to be pretty tall. You know what I mean? Like there's
So
some
we're gonna
people
call it the Leno effect.
Yeah.
And Zach has I hate Jay Leno, by the way. So this is perfect. I don't think his humor is funny at all. And so I think that we are going to coin the term the Leno effect, and that is Zach. He's not as funny as he thinks he is, and he's way taller than you think he is.
I like it.
Does Zach wear a lot of denim? Do we remember seeing him in a lot of denim? Because Jay Leno tends to wear a lot of denim.
We can hope. But Zach is not as agreeable as I think he thinks he is. Like he's not as like good of a salesman and like yeah. Well, there we go.
I mean, I'll watch it, but I'm gonna be annoyed the whole time. Unless they've got some really great girls.
So basically we've ended up in like an Applebee's situation where it's like, I mean, I'll go, but I'm not gonna enjoy it.
Their drinks are good, but their food is trash.
Right.
So
I'll go, but I'm not gonna enjoy it. Right?
Yeah.
And it's you, and you can only eat like 3 things there. So it's like Kim's gonna get a marg and like
I can't even eat 3 things at Applebee's.
Is it just the
Their
chips?
salads are just covered in crap that by the time I make all my substitutions, I'm eating a bowl of iceberg lettuce.
Solid. All right. At the end, Jesse Palmer commented, we hear you, Bachelor Nation, and we are listening. What was he talking about?
I don't know, because it doesn't seem like they're listening.
First off, whatever PR company told him to say that really failed. Because if you're like, I hear you, Bill, and I'm listening, my next question is going to be like,
what did I say?
What did I say? And what did I mean? Because to hear and to listen imply 2 things. I've heard your words and I'm listening to the underlying meaning, right?
So if Bachelor Nation is listening to if Bachelor producers are listening to Bachelor Nation, Jesse Palmer will not be the host next season. Is that what he means?
I don't
know. Caitlin back? Because she was the best part of the episode last Tuesday night, and she wasn't. She was in the audience.
Yeah, I thought that was so odd. I thought that was the most like something a politician would do, where you're like, that you mean nothing by that. I don't like to be placated. If you're gonna not like me, just not like.
Well, I mean, if it's Bachelor Nation, we're listening to you and we hear you, and they chose Zach as the Bachelor, that means that the people who are loudest toward Bachelor Nation are saying, you putting too many diverse people on the Bachelor and we don't like it, make it less diverse.
Yeah, I agree.
Which enrages me.
Yeah. I agree with what you're saying. I don't agree with the sentiment of white cake Bachelor Nation.
I truly think, my ideal season of The Bachelor would be Billy Eichner is the Bachelor and it is an all gay cast. And that would be phenomenal. And I would watch every episode with bated breath.
Yeah, that would be so much better.
God, that would be fun.
Yeah. All right, Wildcard time.
So it's kind of the same thing we've already been talking about. So there was let me pull it up real quick. There was a thing about Jesse Palmer said, finally a Bachelor that doesn't look just like me.
Like
they're all the same. It's the same face. They are triplets. And I just like, what is he even talking about? Finally, a Bachelor doesn't look like me. Like, yeah, you and Clayton looked identical, but
right.
Also you and Zach look the same as well. So Why do we keep casting? And like, of the 5 girls that they brought out weirdly to do like that stupid first impression rose thing, 4 of the 5 looked identical also. Well, I'm sorry. 3 of the 5 were all like long-haired, blonde, tall girls. They looked exactly the same. I remember nothing about them. There was one brunette.
There was one very diverse brunette.
Yeah, and then Brianna, who got the votes from Twitter, was the one person that didn't look exactly like everybody else.
Yeah.
So what are they like? I know Hollywood definitely does that in casting, and they're getting slightly better, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
But like, all you do is cast the same looking white guy every season. If it's a white guy, he looks exactly the same every season.
Yeah.
And if it is a person of color, it is a person of color who is biracial.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're not even really Bachelor producers. So my wild card is, why are they triplets? Sean Lowe looks like them too. So really, and he was the only former Bachelor in the audience, and he looks like them as well. So everybody just looks the same.
And he was only there because he's an attention whore. He wants his job to be being on TV. Like,
well, and I mean, they keep saying the ratings are going down every season. And then they cast somebody who everyone immediately is like, gross, pass. Like, what do you even, are they trying to kill the franchise? Because if so, they are succeeding.
Well, and it's like, you can usually tell if you jump on Twitter where the general, like, we want this person, you know, like Katie was somebody that there was a lot of, as far as women.
It was fun.
Yeah.
She was fun when she was on.
Yeah.
Gabby was fun.
Yeah.
I loved having Gabby be the Bachelorette because she was super fun to watch last season.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was not.
I felt like the women they brought out. Do you remember the game One of These Things Is Not Like the Other? They used to play on Sesame Street. I felt like you could have just cut into Sesame Street and you've been like, wow, Sesame Street's gotten real racist. Like, what's up with this? Mm-hmm. I mean, it was that painfully obvious that it's like Texas girls. Oh, and we'll throw in one diverse person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't feel like Bachelor, the producers are understanding what people want. They're like trying to address what they think the question is in the easiest way possible, instead of being like, we're gonna really think our way through this.
I mean, I'll still watch it, whatever, but it's really irritating. Like, yeah,
I agree.
Come on, spice. If you really want to shake things up. Listen to our ideas and put us in the audience for the final episode, because our facial expressions would have been amazing at the final episode.
Here's what I want: 2 bachelorettes, 2 bachelors, a whole bunch of contestants. They all are, they're open to whatever. So they are not even bisexual. They're sexually polyamorous. Yeah, I don't think ambivalent.
No, not ambivalent. Polyamorous?
Polyamorous means you're in love, like you have a relationship with multiple people.
Oh.
They're not sexually binary. That's a good way to put it, right?
You're all bisexual? Like all 4 of them are bisexual?
Well, bisexual means you like just like men. You like men and women. I'm saying I want these people to be open to like whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, I want like just, yep. And I want them to like no rules, other than you have to match up with one of the 4. One person that identifies as a man, two people identify as a man, 2 people identify as a woman, and then a whole bunch of people that are just like, I'm cool with whatever. And the principals are cool with whatever. Oh man, how fun would that be? I
hear you, and I say do that for the next Bachelor in Paradise.
Well, that's just basically Bachelor in Paradise. It's like,
that's true.
That's why I love Bachelor in Paradise so much. It's like they don't even try to pretend that this is like there's rules to this. It's like you want to get drunk, you want to screw 2 people, get it. You want
to just live in your swimsuit for 6 weeks? Yes, yeah. I absolutely do. If I could live in my swimsuit at a resort and eat and drink all that I wanted, that's like the ideal life, I think.
Do you want to actually not have a relationship but just complain about everybody that has one? We got a spot for you on Bachelor in Paradise.
I'd be really good at that.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I'd be really good as a bartender there. I enjoy serving people. I enjoy hearing gossip. I enjoy giving advice as if I have any reason to be giving advice at all. That's my sweet spot.
Same. I would want to be like the Love Boat. What was her name? The chick on the Love Boat, like that. Activities director Julie. Yes. That's what I would want to do. I'd want to like plan all the dates and be at all the dates and watch all the dates go down.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Well, lessons learned. Got the hiccups.
My lesson learned is that I think they have no idea what Bachelor Nation actually wants from this show. And if they do another season where the last 2 episodes are 5 hours of that are 4 hours of absolutely nothing and 1 hour of actual content, they need to just end the franchise. Like this season could have been awesome if they had just had Gabby.
Yes. Because
they had 2, it diluted the time available for us to get to know the guys to the point that we got to the finale and people still didn't know who everybody was. We didn't get any, I hate the 2-on-1s, but I love the 2-on-1s. There were no 2-on-1 dates. There was no, like, we kept saying how this might be the most mature group of guys because there was no drama, but there also might not have been drama because there was no time for drama to exist because it just flew by so fast.
Well, and they artificially cut it out when they did you have to pick one of the women, right?
Yeah.
Because they cut out several guys who were going to be issues with that move.
Yeah. Well, and I think the girls got rid of guys that were problematic pretty fast, which I appreciated that. Because I like entertainment. For entertainment's sake, I don't need someone to be on there specifically to be a jerk that just sucks the life out of everything, every episode, and draws all the attention to them. Like that was the Dementor last season. Yeah. And I am sad to see that she is going to be on Bachelor in Paradise / excited to see because that's going to be drama. Yeah. But like, you want good quality ridiculousness, but not to the point where that person is so annoying that it sucks all the life out of the rest of the show. So I think that what I learned is it doesn't matter. I will still watch the show because you guys got me addicted and now I love it.
I'm glad we could get our friends addicted to something. We tried several drugs and it didn't take. So we're like, well, next up.
I think Jorge would say the same thing. Like you brought us in, you introduced us to this madness, and now we can't get enough because some people came and watched it while their wives were in another continent. Because
I think Jorge enjoys it, but I don't think he'd ever admit that he likes it. So, I learned that network television is dead. This is an example of why network television doesn't work anymore. They need X amount of episodes to fill a certain spot in the year. And so by God, and those episodes have to be an hour and 39 minutes long, and they're going to edit it so it fits perfectly in there. And it was very clear that they did not have the content this season to be able to put on a well-paced show. And had it been like a Netflix series, it would have been 7 episodes. And it probably would have been like, oh man, that was intense, right? Mm-hmm. And I think at this point, you, me, Danielle, we've all kind of given up on this as something that's actually kind of real. It's like we want to be entertained, and I think it just needs to go that way. And there's several like dating shows that are on like Netflix and Hulu now, and they're just so much better edited because they're not beholden to that scenario. So. Yep. All right, go ahead.
I just said agreed.
Thank you. I'm glad you agree. All right, so shout out to our city, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I've got my Wikipedia up. Do you have anything? Do you have knowledge of Calgary?
I have 2 nuggets.
Okay.
3 nuggets. 1, the 1988 Olympics were in Calgary. I know the Olympics were in Calgary. I want to see 88. Want to say 88. 2, Banff National Park is near Calgary, and that is on my short list for my next big national park trip because I'm obsessed with the pictures of Banff.
Never been there, but everybody in Glacier this summer was like, yeah, we're going to Banff. So I think it's like you go to Glacier and
you either do Glacier Yellowstone Tetons or you do Glacier Banff, I think. Yep. And I did Glacier and then I did Yellowstone Tetons. And then 3rd, I really want to go. I really want to go to Calgary and I really want to go to Banff. So those are my 3 nuggets. Please educate me.
So obviously in Canada, founded in 1875. It was incorporated in November 7th, 1884. The city was named January 1st, 1894.
Ooh.
Population of 1,306,784.
You're going to say 6. What's that? 1,000,006.
And 6. The area code's 403-587-825 and 368. It's known for Banff, which I agree. Do you know what Banff stands for?
Well, I had a question. What does Calgary mean? Do we know what Calgary means?
Yeah, I saw it said etymology. Calgary was named after Calgary on the Isle of Mull in Scotland. In turn, the name originates from a compound called and Garrett, similar to the Old Norse words meaning cold and garden.
That is appropriate because it is cold there, but it's very green there.
And so allow me to enlighten you about temperatures. So the daily mean in January is a balmy 19.2 degrees. The daily high in...
That's cold.
Yeah. The daily high in July is 61.7. So
that's cold.
Yeah. That's my temperature. We talked about the demographic. We talked about that. It's largely Christian or non-religion. Most of the employment by industry is health and education, business services, agriculture. They got some manufacturing. And my favorite one, where are my famous people? Give me a second. They don't have a famous people section.
Who's from Calgary? Who's from Calgary?
They don't have a famous people section.
Those sons of bitches.
Oh my God. If you are famous and you are from Calgary, please send us a message to Batchademia so I can call you out next one.
Keep talking. I'm going to Google famous people from Calgary.
For a second there, I almost said Ryan Reynolds, but he's from Regina, Saskatchewan.
Regina, thank you very much. Yep. Charlie from Mighty Ducks, also known as Joshua Jackson, is from Vancouver.
Okay. We're getting
famous
closer.
People from Calgary. Corey Monteith. Aw. Guess who else was born in Calgary?
I don't know.
Ted freaking Cruz.
What?
Yeah.
He can't be president then, right? Because he wasn't.
No, there's a thing that they're trying to because they've talked about that, and because he was there, he gave up his Canadian citizenship in order to participate in U.S. politics. There's something about there, he's tried to do something to make it so that he can still run for president, but nobody wants that.
Jesus Christ.
Other people who are from Calgary are Michael J. Fox.
Oh, there you go.
Who's awesome. Evangeline Lilly.
Oh yeah, I like her.
On Lost.
Yep. Also in the Ant-Man series for Marvel.
Oh yeah, and then Alicia Cuthbert, who was on the show Happy Endings, which is a very great show that didn't get a lot of audience. And then Corey Monteith, who I said first, was on Glee.
Nice.
So those are the famous people from Calgary.
Great.
Sorry about Ted Cruz.
If you're looking for a great TV show, I realize we're just stretching this out now. We watched The Bear on Hulu. Very good. If you're interested in food and cooking and restaurants, it is a very good depiction of how intense restaurants are. Yeah.
Here's what I'll say. We're stretching it out like the producers stretch it out, but our content is actually helpful and educational.
Solid gold.
Yours is absolute trash.
We're getting a Peabody for this for sure.
Oh my God. Could you imagine?
Yeah. All right. So we have an announcement. Bachelor in Paradise. We're going to switch up the way we do this. So the way we are going to do Bachelor in Paradise for Batchademia is we will have a episode next week.
Yep.
Then midway through, we'll have an episode. And then after the last one, we'll have an episode. Me or Danielle, Kim, and me will all be on it.
We'll all be together.
We'll all be together.
Yay!
You won't have as many times to listen, but you will have fabulous content. And you'll get the three-headed monster that is us, which is brilliant. So
always entertaining.
Yeah. That's it. That's all I got. Any last words on this season?
On this, No. This season is done. Let's call it. Let's kill it and call it and move on with our lives.
One for my homies. All right, everybody. Have a good weekend. It's good to see you.
Bye.
You have been listening to Bachelormania
with your hosts, Danielle Dick McGee,
Kim Hanna,
and Bill Hennig.
All thoughts and opinions expressed on the show are solely those of the person who spoke them.
If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe to the show, leaving a 5-star rating and review wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Also, please share with your family, friends, colleagues, and other ardent Bachelor fans.
If you have comments or questions you would like us to address on the show, you can email us at bachelormania@gmail.com.
Or on the Twitter with the handle @Bachelormania.
Thanks for listening.